Get your popcorn ready. I got another banger for you guys. In today's episode, we are discussing the 8 essential things you need to have in place in order to make at least $50,000 a month in the pressure washing business. Now, guys, look at these things like they're pillars, foundational pillars, if you will. All 8 of these things have to be in place and rock solid in order for you to get that money. So let's jump right in. Number 1 is something we've talked about in great length here on this channel, and that's commercial equipment. You need to have industrial level superior equipment. It does not matter how much experience, how many years you have, and how much skill you have out in the field if you're not partnered that up with great equipment. Now, I will say this, guys, you know, when I started in this business, I started out with a $50 pressure washer that I bought on Craigslist, but as the money started coming in, I went upgrading. All the money that I got that were profits, I basically dumped back into the business. Eventually, you want to be able to get professional reels and professional wands and hoses and upgrade your equipment as soon as possible, because you will not be able to make that money without it, because it's all about efficiency. Like, I'll give you guys a great example. I just did a house, I want to say it was last week. So I pulled up to this house, and this guy next door to me was pressure washing a house right next door to where I was. But when I got there, I saw that he was halfway through one side. Now, he was pressure washing the old school way. He had ladders out, and he was using a pressure washer. He was not using any chemicals. And what happened is, I got out my equipment, I did my thing, I did my home protection. I was there for 45 minutes. From the time I pulled up to the time I drove away, it was 45 minutes. And guess what? He was still trying to finish that one side. If you do the math on that, he's there for 4 or 5 hours minimum to do that wash. So, because he doesn't have the right equipment, well, he's not going to be able to do that job efficiently. Professionals, guys, there's a reason why professionals get a job done in less than 1 hour. You're going to need that equipment if you want to be able to maximize your time. And we all know how important time is. And this, by the way, transitions really, really nicely into number 2, which is chemical knowledge. Another thing that we've talked about ad nauseum here on this channel. You're not going to be able to make a lot of money in this business if you do not know what chemical to use for the right process, right? So, if, for example, rust, you cannot remove rust with pressure. You need a chemical for that. You have your oil stains on driveways and other parts of concrete. Cannot get that with pressure. You need a chemical for that. And then obviously your organics, outdoor organics that grow on siding and on walls, and you know, you want to be able to pull up to a house and look at it. And that's what professionals do, by the way. They look at a house and they go, ooh, I can knock this out with this. I can knock this out with that. That's what professionals do, because they understand that at the end of the day, it's all about a chemical process. Now, I put up here for you guys the thumbnail to our episode 10. Our episode 10 is called The 8 Essential Chemicals of the Pressure Washing Business. We went ahead to help you guys out with that. We already did an in-depth episode discussing all of these chemicals that we're talking about. Your rust removers, your degreasers, your SH, sodium hypochlorite, also your surfactants, roof surfactant in your house mix. And what's real awesome about that episode, guys, is that in that episode we give you a batch mixing calculator. So with that, you're going to be able to mix your own bleach. And I will leave the link for that down below in the description as well. After you watch this episode, I suggest you watch that episode, because it's going to give you that chemical knowledge. Number 3, guys, something that I don't see a lot of people talking about, but it's probably one of the most important things that you need to get right from the very beginning. And that's proper pricing. I just went to do a house. Well, actually, I'm sorry. I went to give an estimate a couple months ago, and you know, our minimum is $299. So if it's a 1,200, 1,500 square foot house, that's $299. That's just our bare bones minimum. I went to give this woman a price, and she said, "Oh no, the guy that does it for me every year, he charges me $100." Okay, great. I mean, call that guy. I'm not going to go out there. I know my costs. I know how much money I need to bring in to be able to cover all of the bills of the company, your overhead. And basically, I mean, I'm not going to go out there and do the work for free, right? So from the very beginning when I started my company, I understood that in order for me to maximize sales and profitability, I was going to need to get the pricing down right. And by the way, this is just my view on it. If you're starting out in this business, do not charge any price for house washes less than $250. That's a pretty basement price right there. Especially, you guys see how inflation, the cost of everything, cost of hoses and fittings and gas and everything's up. So you want to make sure that you get your pricing right. And this is why this is important, guys. You know, imagine you get a house for, let's say you get a house for $150. I'm just throwing a number out there. Let's say it's a townhouse. And that person recommends you to a bunch of people. What do you think that person is going to say? Yeah, you guessed it. They're going to say, "Oh yeah, this guy, he's super cheap. He has the cheapest prices in town." You're going to get customers, but then when you go, "Oh yeah, I can do it for $250, they're going to complain to you. They're going to say, "Wait, you did my friend's house for $150. Why are you charging me $250? You see what I'm saying, guys? So you're not going to be able to make $50,000 a month if your pricing is not on point. You need to make sure you get that right. Watch a lot of videos on the subject. As a matter of fact, the very next episode that we got coming out is an estimate. It's an episode where we teach you how to do estimates. So I recommend you watch that one. Number 4 on this list is something we've mentioned a couple times here on this channel as well, and that's customer service. Now, customer service, we are doing a separate video on that because it's something that is so important. And also, I mean, guys, just look around your world. Customer service is not dying. It's dead. It died a long time ago. And you call companies around, you don't get anybody picking up the phone. Customer service, for example, how we treat people out in the field and being a true professional out there. All of these things have to do with customer service. I used this example the other day. You know, last year we called 20 competitors on our area to get an estimate. The office manager did that to get an estimate on her house, and only 18 of those 20 people didn't pick up their phone. So only 2 picked up their phone. That's terrible customer service. Whenever we at Mr. Bubbles, a customer has a question, a concern, a comment, anything that they want to know, they can pick up the phone and we're going to answer right away. We're always solving people's problems immediately. The other thing that we do immediately, as soon as we do a house wash, they get sent the invoice, whether they ask for it or not. That's great customer service. We do a follow-up call to see how their service was. Again, that's great customer service. So, you know, I can tell you this, guys. If you offer your customer an amazing, exceptional customer service, guess what? You're going to be making lots and lots and lots of money. And your profitability as a company is going to go up, 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 and up. Number 5 on the list, guys. We're talking about online presence. Now, there's a lot of things to cover here, and of course, you know, at some point here I will do a video about this, but the focus of this, the purpose for this right here is I want to talk to you guys about Google My Business. Now obviously you got to have your Facebook, you got to have your Nextdoor app and all of those things, right? But to me the most important one is Google My Business because of those 5-star reviews. You know, when somebody on their iPad or their phone or their computer, they put in pressure washing near me, your name should pop up. And if it doesn't pop up, the chances of you building your business to a $50,000 a month business is going to be, it's going to be challenging for you if you're not showing up on that Google. And how do you do that? How do you show up on that Google? The number one thing is you got to make sure that you're getting amazing customer reviews, 5-star reviews. Every time we do a job and we see that the customer is really happy, we send them the link. We make it super easy for them, and we send them that link. They hit that button, boom, they leave that review. The other thing is putting awesome pictures, before and after pictures, guys. I think we have something like close to 2,000 pictures on our Google My Business page. So you want to make sure that, you know, you're providing that professional image as well with your online presence. But guys, these days, I want to say about 30 to 35% of our customers comes from Google My Business. And that's something that we put up long time, 7, 8 years ago, and it's still giving us that return every single day. So you got to make sure your Google My Business is on point, great pictures and great reviews on that. That segues real nice into the next one, which is professional image. Is something I've touched base on a couple times here on this channel as well. You want to make sure you have, for example, you're wearing uniforms out there. Your trucks have some kind of something. Guys, it doesn't have to be a wrap. I know wraps are a little bit more expensive these days, but at least have something. Have a magnet, have a banner, have something on your truck that says who you are. One of the things that I did when I first started my business, and I couldn't afford an entire wrap, what I did, and what I strongly recommend you do as well, is wrap your tailgate. That makes sense because when you're driving, the people are not going to see the side of your truck anyway. So let's say you go on Vistaprint and you order yourself 2 magnets. That's going to cost you, I think, like 70, 80 bucks. You put one on each door, and then it's going to cost you around maybe 300 bucks to wrap your tailgate. Guys, that's enough. And then when the money starts rolling in, you can wrap the rest of your vehicle. But the point is, do something. Don't just sit around and do nothing. Don't show up to people's houses with an unwrapped vehicle because, or any kind of marketing on the vehicle, because number one, it picks you up tons and tons and tons of customers. So, and that moves on to number 8. We're talking about marketing. I'm sorry, number 7, guys, talking about marketing. And this is very important because, you know, obviously getting a constant flow of customers is going to be the lifeblood of your business, right? And in order for you to make $50,000 a month, by the way, guys, $50,000 a month, you're going to need about 25 days to get that done. Because if you do the math on that, you know, you're taking 5 days off out of 30 days. That's 25 days that you're going to work. So you're essentially working 6 days a week. You're working Monday through Saturday. And you're going to need to make $2,000 a day. So $2,000 a day, 25 days, that's $50K. By the way, I only did that, the first time I made $2K in a day was towards the very end of my 2nd season, okay? My 2nd season. And I only did that one time. I was super excited about it, super motivated by it, but I only did it one time. Then exactly a year later, it was October of my 3rd season, I did it several times in a month. And then in November, I probably did it 20 days out of the month. But it wasn't until the springtime of my 4th season when I started doing I was doing between $2,200 and $2,800 a day. So I made over $50K, but it was my 4th season. It wasn't my first year. It wasn't my first month. It was my 4th year. So I wanted to get that out there. And the big part of that was marketing. I remember what made the big difference for me, to be honest with you, is right before I made that day that I made $2,000, about 2 weeks before that, I had bought a trailer down in Georgia. It's a warehouse down there that they build trailers. So I ordered a trailer. They had it built. I went to pick it up. I'm in Maryland, by the way, so I drove down there. And then on my way back, my wrap guy, the guy that does all my wraps for me, he's been working for me for about 8 years or something like that. And he's done all of my wraps. All in all, we have about 15, 16 vehicles and trailers and everything. I mean, everything's wrapped. So when I bought that enclosed trailer, guys, on my way back, I went to Richmond, and I left the trailer there for about a week that it took them to wrap it. So before I even put anything, no tanks, nothing, the trailer was completely empty, but it was already completely wrapped. Then it took me about 10 days to do the build on it. Guys, I mean, wow. I was making so much money from the get-go. I can tell you honestly, that wrap paid for itself in the first 2 weeks of it being out in the field. I mean, it was like that, guys. I mean, that's the power of the wrap. But anyway, so when we're talking about marketing, there's so many things to cover here. But I am doing a series. I've already started kind of promoting it low-key. We're doing a 9-part series. It's going to be episode 51 to 59. I'm in the background right now. We're writing the scripts and all that and putting everything together for you guys. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to talk about just my top 3 for you guys that are starting out and you're new to the industry. Number 1 is what we're talking about. You're going to have something on your truck. Lettering, a magnet, something, guys. If you can't afford the wrap, maybe put it on credit. Do something. Do something. The bottom line is you have to do something. And I was using the example of the wrap. Guys, you make your money back in a couple weeks. And guess what? I mean, I still have that trailer. We're talking, that trailer is, and it's going into right now, its 7th season with me. I stopped counting a long time ago how many clients I got just because of that wrap. It's basically you're driving around a billboard, so of course you're going to want to do that. Number 2 with the top 3 in marketing is the 5-arounds. Now, if you're not familiar with the term 5-arounds, it's not something that was created by Mr. Bubbles. I actually heard about this 5-around about 10 years ago. I heard it online, and it's a great concept. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to get yourself a 6x9 postcard, like double-sided postcards. You're going to put before and after pictures on there. Keep a couple hundred of those in your vehicle. And when you go out to do a job, you're going to walk to the neighbor on the left, the neighbor on the right, and the 3 houses in front of the house that you're power washing, right? So hence the term 5-arounds. Left, right, and the 3 in the front. And you're going to do, so if you have, for example, guys, let's say you have 4 jobs that day. So you're going to do 25-arounds, right? So somebody's going to call because it's a lot easier to pick up the neighbor next door than it is to pick up the unknown, the guy who doesn't know who you are in the next, neighborhood over or whatever. So, make sure you guys have those 5-arounds in your trucks. And then finally, what I would do from the very beginning, start some kind of referral program. Every time you talk to somebody and you do a job, you'd let them know, hey, by the way, I have a $50 discount if you, you pick me up your mom, your dad, your sister, your neighbor, your coworker. I'll cash app you $50. Guys, I want to say about 15 to 20% of our customers in today's 2023, we're picking up about 20% of our customers through referrals. And we cash out people $50 all the time because you're having foot soldiers out there promote your work. And then what you do is the person that you just charge them $50 more. If your house wash price is $275, charge $325 for you to recoup that money. These are all tactics used by companies all the time. So you want to make sure you get at least those 3, and then stay tuned for the marketing videos that I got coming down the pipeline. Now, number 8 is perhaps the most important thing that you could install in your company in order for you to make $50,000 a month. To me, it is the glue. It's kind of like the gluten that keeps everything together, and that is systems. Guys, you need to install in your company a system behind how you do everything. And I'm not just talking about how, for example, okay, this is how I wash a house. If you want to watch house wash videos, we got a bunch down in our archives, so you can see how our system is designed to be able to wash a house. You want that level of consistency in everything that you do. I mentioned the invoices. You want to have some kind of system. I remember when I first started my business, I would have 20, 30 people that I was 3-4 weeks behind sending them an invoice because I just didn't have an administration system. Now we have a system behind everything that we do. That's why when our technician, for example, is on the way to go do a house, we text the customer. We let him know, hey, your technician, Joe Blow, he's on his way and he's going to be there in 15 minutes. Then when we do the job, we have a system. We send them an invoice and so forth. So you want to make sure from that workflow that you have in your company, from how you do the job to how you get paid and everything in between, you install some kind of system. And if you watch all of the Mr. Bubbles videos, you're gonna learn the Mr. Bubbles house wash system. How we, for example, we offer plant protection and home protection, and how we cover Verizon box and all of that. You need to make sure you have a system in place, because guys, if you are inconsistent in everything that you do, you're not going to be able to make a consistent level of profitability. You're not going to make that $50K a month if every house that you go to, you're getting a different result. And then also, I will say this also, at some point you're going to want to scale up your business, and if you don't have some kind of system, how are you going to hire, train, and develop your employees? That doesn't make any sense. So there you have it, guys. All 8 of these things, I'm telling you, these are your foundational 8 essential things. Guys, if you're missing one of those things, your profits and your money is going to look like this, like a wave, like up and down, up and down, up and down. If you want to have that level of consistency, you're going to have to learn how to master all 8 of these things. Thank you very much for watching today's episode. I really appreciate you coming to this channel. I highly recommend you watch the next episode. We're actually doing 5 estimates, and I do a complete walkthrough of the house, and you get to see, you know, sort of like what my thought process is and how I price things out. So I highly recommend that. Once again, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bubbles out.